All right, everybody. Today we're going to try something different. As I'm going to try to take this rack card that I came across, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Photoshop to try to recreate it and make my own rack card. Because what happened is I always used to tell people that if you find a rack card that you like, that I could recreate it. So that's going to be this project. All right. We're just going to jump into it. I want to see how long it takes to kind of recreate this card. So we're going to use Photoshop. And we're just going to get right to it, okay? All right, so the first thing I want to do is just make this a layer. Now I'm going to start pulling some, the other thing I want to do is, let's make sure that the canvas is in inches. Now this is 4 by 9. You can see that it's not, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and recreate this into a 4 by 9. Let's go ahead and just make a new file. Inches, width 4, 9, 300 dots per inch. Now if you also want to do 0.25, because when you go to print you actually have you have to make it a little bit bigger so that it fits perfectly. Now we're going to take this and we're going to drop this on this new layer. And then that gives us the rack card. You can see it's a little bit bigger. This is where the white space is around. The reason why you get that white space is because this file is a little bit bigger than a 4 by 9 because we're going to cut and trim off that section there. And if we trim it off after we print it, you need it to bleed so that way it looks nicer. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw. Let's make sure we zoom in a little bit to make sure we're right on top of that logo. So I'm going to make this guide the same size. Zoom out. Okay. Now we're going to make a new layer. This layer is going to be black. Okay. And that's where our information was. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and do another. We're going to tape the number and try to match the number as best we can. Okay, that's the rack card. Now we're going to size this up. Let's see, it's stretched a little bit. So the first thing I would do is, if I'm working on a client, I want to kind of just make this size work. And regardless if it looks, if I want to make any changes, I'll make changes at the end. So that gives me about what I want to do. So go here. And the next thing I want to do is pull in a logo. So I'm going to be doing electric skateboarding tours. So drop this logo here. We're going to resize this thing. We're going to fit that where this needs to go. Okay, now we're going to take the same font and we're just going to duplicate this text layer, and we're going to say electric skateboarding tours.com. Now we're going to try to fit it, squeeze it, even though it might not work. Let's see how bad. So it's pretty bad. So we're just going to try to, let's see. Okay, we're just trying, remember, we're trying to fit everything. We're not looking for everything to be perfect at this point. We're seeing how fast that we can duplicate this flyer. When we duplicate this flyer, okay. When we duplicate this flyer, this is what it looks like at this point. Let's go ahead and change the number because I want this to be the number that's on this business. Okay, that's the basis. So if we want to make it different colors, okay, go ahead and make this like a yellow, and we'll do this other part right here. Okay, we'll do this part yellow as well. And that's just kind of mix it up to make it look like this flyer. Now I'm not saying that these flyers are perfect, but this gives me an idea of what I need to put in there, what can I recreate, and how fast I can do it. So give me an example, let's put it in there, let's reload it, let's see what we can get. All right, now we want to do some sort of, this is on a background, this is a QR thing. So the next thing we are going to do is recreate a QR code. So we're going to go ahead and pull this. We're going to say QR code. Now, if you name the files as you go, it'll help you to kind of see. So I'm going to put all these in a folder. I'm going to talk this called header. And this lets me know that this is the header. And I can switch it in between independently. Next thing I want to do is I want to do a QR code. So this gives me the QR code, and I want that to take me to the website. So I'm going to quickly just go ahead and create QR code. Okay, I want to Now what I'm doing is I went to a free QR code generator, electricskateboardingtours.com. Okay, now I'm going to do a screenshot of this logo, and now we're going to put it back into, we're going to put that right back in here. Okay, now we're going to drop this on top right there. So that's going to be my QR code versus the QR code that's there. So now I'm going to say QR code EST. Okay, remove this file. Boom. Now I can drop this. Now I can drop this code right on top, and that could be my QR code. Let's see. The only other thing is I might have to shave. Go ahead and do a stroke around this. Let's see, stroke, black. And it looks like the original was an inner stroke because it looks more boxy, and that kind of gives me an idea. This is a little bit too big on this side. It looks a little bit better. Now we can drop that there. Okay. Now if we look back up, this is what we got right now. Now we got to do a bunch of different images. Let's see if we can, so I go back to this image layer. I'm going to grab, first let's go ahead and just draw some guides so that way we can line this up a little bit better. Okay. And one for the outside. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and see what other, we got another logo right down there. Got another picture right about there. Okay, drop some guides. So when we go to splice this up, we can do this rather quickly. Just want to put the guide right in the middle. Okay. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit, and now we're going to grab all these images. So let's start here. Okay, we'll do this. Call this top left. Okay, now come over here to the right. We're going to do top right. Okay. Now we're going to come down to this middle one. We're going to say middle top. Okay. Now come back down here and say middle left. Come back here. I'm going to say lower, no, mid, low, left. We're gonna go mid, low, right. And then we're gonna do these two layers right here. We need one more guide. We're gonna take this, but there's no guide on the bottom. Let's put another guide. Okay, grab it, low, left, low, left, and we're going to do low, right. Okay, now I see somebody said hello, this is a live stream, so if you guys got any questions, yellow. Okay, so I just wanted to say that this is our Photoshop file. We're recreating this, and we're just trying to see how fast we can do it. So I'm going to open up some pictures and I'm going to bring them in and I'll see where they go. So this is some of the pictures I have for this the replacement of the new flyer. So I'm going to bring, that's the logo, we don't need that open. Let's go ahead and take one of these. Nope. We need our selector tool and we're going to come in here. Okay. Now just look up, and I want to see. Okay, we got right here. Now we're gonna. That doesn't really fit, so we're gonna kind of do this lower section. Fits a little bit nicer. Now I'm gonna use this mid, low, left. I'm gonna select it. Okay, and then I'm gonna use this to mask it out. Now I'm going to move on to the next picture. That was the first one. This is the next one. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this picture. This one needs to be up here because it has kind of a fuller picture, so that's the top right. Select that, code selection, and then we're going to marquee, mask out this one. So I'm going to do EST photos. Okay. Still got our QR code. Now let's see how this looks. Okay, that's how it looks as we're replacing the photos. We still got a little work to do, but we can still make this work. But this is trying to recreate a flyer. Okay, so now we're gonna keep at it. We imported that photo. We are going to bring this photo over. Okay, and we're gonna see where this can fit. This can fit maybe down here. This is our electric skateboarding tour. Okay, then we're going to do, that was mid, low, right. We're going to select that. We're going to come up, we're going to mask this. We're going to ungroup it, and we're going to kind of fit the picture. Now we're going to stick that into the phone. Now we got a couple more to do, so let's see what other photos we have. Okay. This is kind of a teamwork photo, so stick that up here. Okay. That was top right, top left. Load selection. Come up here, mask it out, stick it into our bin. Okay. That gives you how many more photos we have to add. Okay. Now I'm going to open up a couple more. Now, you might not have any questions, but you know, thinking that again, we're trying to see how fast we can recreate an image flyer. So that's mid top, so we're going to load this selection, this layer. We come up here, we're going to mask it out. We're going to fix it a little bit. Okay, got 2 more photos to go. Now we'll also stick that in there. We'll also see if we can turn on the stroke. Let's make sure it's inside. It's to 8. Now we're just going to drop you option click and drag, option click and drag, option click and drag. This gives us the shape. You can command semicolon. Now scan for rates and information, so I'm going to add that section as well. Scan for rates and info. Now we're getting closer to finishing this quick project, but this is how you recreate this is how I recreate a flyer based upon an example. Okay. And we are going to put this red. Got a black stroke around it. That one's a little less. Outside. Make that 2. And we're option and dragging. Okay. Now let's zoom in a little bit, see how it looks. Okay. Little exclamation mark. Now we're going to make the stroke a little bit bigger because we zoomed in, we can see it. And that kind of gives us an idea about that. And we're going to duplicate this. And then we are going to each location. Miami Beach location. Okay. Alright. Now we're going to make this a little bit smaller. And we're just going to drag. Okay. Now I want to look at how we did. Zoom out. Now, kind of got this flyer action going. We got 2 more photos to find, and then that's it. We're done. So I'm going to go to the main website and see if I can grab a couple more photos. Electric skateboarding tours.com. Okay. I'm going to do a site search. Okay. Now I'm just going to my own website to see if I can find any images I can use. Found one more. Okay, we're going to drag this in and and we'll see how that looks there. Okay, now I want to drag that stroke, but I want to drag an image stroke on that, drop this into the folder. But now we got okay, now I want to just finish this off. Okay. And I need one more photo. So let's go back into my website. And we're just going to go through. Okay. I found one more photo that we're just going to drop in there to kind of finish this project. And I kind of want to do this. This is a little lower left. back into the original. Lower right, actually. Okay, maybe I don't have that yet. So let's hide that one image. Show our guides. Now we're going to zoom in. And we're going to grab this box. And that will be lower right. So now we're going to select this, load selection. Come back up into our photo. See, it's the only one. Now we need some stroke around this. And I think we need to resize this. Okay. Now we just need a background image. So let's see if I can find a Miami Beach, an image from my own website. Okay. I got this Miami Beach picture. It's my own. So I'm going to drop that in the background. Okay. Now we're just going to completely just pull it, make sure it fits back there. And that's good enough. We're going to put this all the way on the bottom so it could be our back layer. Now we're going to take all these layers and put them in a folder. And now we just need to delete. Okay. And let's move the images, and this is what it looks like. Oh. Okay. Now this is what it looks like to kind of do a finished project. Now this is just a flyer I found. This is nothing extraordinary, but I do wanted to say maybe this image doesn't fit too well here. These images, there's a little extra black bar, so let's see if we can kind of fix some of those images. So let's look here, no. Okay, these two. Okay, let's zoom in. They need to be a little bit closer together. Okay, that got there. Now let's find this image of the t-shirt. Okay. Okay. And let's just make the bottom part look a little bit matchy. Okay. Okay, electricskateboardingtours.com, 786-399-0145. Scan, oh, we forgot our QR code. So let's get back to our QR code. It has to be above those images. Now if you scan that QR code, it should take you to the Electric Skateboarding Tours website. And that's pretty much going to do it here for this video. I was just trying to show you that we can recreate a flyer. Don't forget, you always got the Unis production, and that's about it. So hope you learned something on this, and we'll try to show you another graphic design Photoshop tutorial. I'll probably take some feedback if this was good, if it was useful, and that's about it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll come up